Hello and welcome to our newscast coming to you live from our studio in Seoul. I'm Daniel Choi for Arirang News. Let's start with the headlines. On this Christmas Day, we take a look at what the holiday means to Koreans and how they choose to celebrate it. It's official. Japan's Foreign Minister Fumio Kishida will be in Seoul next Monday, to meet his Korean counterpart for another round of working-level talks on Japan's wartime sex slavery. Various government sources say North Korea can now produce more nuclear weapons than ever before as it continues to develop its nuclear capabilities. As countries around the world celebrate Christmas on this Friday, Koreans also enjoy the holiday in their own meaningful ways. Some spent the day at cathedrals and churches, while others took advantage of the beautiful weather breezing down the glistering white snow slopes. Our Kim Min-ji starts us off.
Friends and family gathered at Myeongdong Cathedral in Seoul to attend a mass presided over by Archbishop Andrew Yum-Soo-jung. The religious leader stressed that our world is far from peace, citing the neglect of life, destruction of the environment, materialism, and egoism. The National Council of Churches in Korea released a Christmas message saying the overflowing wisdom of love will melt the hatred of all people and bring reconciliation to the world. The Jogae Order of Korean Buddhism said that people should give happiness to others and have their sorrows to achieve true happiness for themselves. Others took advantage of the clear weather conditions to make the best of their three-day weekend. Some 30,000 people flocked to 9 ski resorts in Gangwon-do Province, a famous winter leisure sports destination, and also host to the 2018 Pyeongchang Winter Olympics. Some opted to get a view of the sea and enjoy some fishing, and even catch some with their bare hands. Tens of thousands of people also arrived at the southern resort island of Jeju to enjoy their Christmas holiday break. Kim Min-ji, Arirang News.
Christmas is actually a relatively young holiday for Korea. There are clear differences on how Koreans perceive it and how they choose to celebrate it. Our Kwon Jang-ho digs deeper by taking to the streets to hear directly from the people how they're spending the holiday.
Christmas is the holiday where you spend time with family and loved ones, giving each other gifts, singing carols. That's in the West, at least. But how do people in Korea spend Christmas? I came out here to ask around.
I'm going on a trip with the family to Jeju-do Island.
I got married this year, so I'll be spending Christmas with my husband and my family.
On Christmas Eve, I have plans to go drinking with my friends in Sinchon. On Christmas Day, I'll be studying.
Until the 24th, I'm going to party really hard. I'm going to be out all night. And on Christmas Day, I'm going to sleep.
That doesn't sound too dissimilar from what's common in the West. But dig a little deeper, and there are some notable differences. For example, there is less emphasis on family time, especially among young people. In a survey, it was found that only 33% of people in their 20s and 30s spent Christmas with their family. So who do they spend it with?
Students usually spend Christmas with friends.
People with a boyfriend or girlfriend usually spend Christmas together.
In another survey, when asked what was the most important occasion for a couple, Christmas was voted number 2 after the first date anniversary.
It's almost seen as strange if you're not spending time with your partner. In Korea, there does seem to be a feeling that this is a holiday for couples.
The practice of gift giving is also one that isn't strictly followed, and it's usually reserved for children.
I haven't had Christmas presents since I was 10 years old.
My family doesn't exchange gifts.
I'm planning to give my son a nice gift. But the children don't give gifts to their parents. It's the parents who give gifts to their children.
It might not be quite the same as how Christmas is celebrated in the West, but as one of the few nations in Asia that has adopted Christmas as a public holiday, Korean people are still enjoying it in their own way. Kwon Jang-ho, Arirang News.
But the spirit of the holidays is very much alive here in Korea. A local community center has been playing Santa for some of the neighborhood's low-income senior residents this holiday season, and they've been getting a helping hand from student elves. Lee Soo-eun has the full story.
A nice hairdo and a little bit of makeup. These are things that some of the seniors in this neighborhood in northwestern Seoul aren't used to.
Usually, during the holidays, I don't go anywhere. My children don't really come home either. But today, I'm really happy. I want to go out somewhere since they did this makeup and hair for me.
The makeover was a holiday gift from the Hongwon-il-dong Community Service Center in Seodaemungu District. The center invited 300 elderly, low-income residents to Eunje Christian Church in Seoul for an afternoon that included the makeover, a photo shoot, and a warm lunch. They got a helping hand from a group of high school volunteers.
I feel proud to have shared what I do best, makeup, with the elderly and help them make great memories because they don't usually have many opportunities to talk with young students.
The seniors couldn't help but smile looking at the pictures of themselves. Then they were treated to a bowl of warm chicken stew to fill their stomachs thanks to a group of university student volunteers who formed the culinary team in the kitchen.
It's a short day, but I hope the seniors here will feel the community's warmth more than by just having a meal. To be honest, the center doesn't have enough time, people or money to host all of these events, and so I'm thankful that the volunteers have filled that gap.
Christmas time for the senior citizens living in the city could have been cold and lonely, but that won't be the case this year thanks to the Hongwon-il-dong Community Service Center and the student volunteers. Yusuin, Arirang News.
Shifting gears now, Korea and Japan inch closer to negotiating a settlement regarding Japan's sexual enslavement of Korean women during World War II. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs confirmed that Japanese Foreign Minister Fumio Kishida will visit Seoul next Monday to hold talks with his Korean counterpart Yoon Byung-se. The two countries will also hold the 12th working-level talks on Sunday to resolve the issue of Japan's wartime sex slavery. According to the Tokyo-based Nihon Keizai Shimbun on Friday, the Japanese government is seeking ways to establish a new fund worth more than 100 million yen or $830,000 to support survivors of Japan's wartime sex crimes. Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe is reportedly considering issuing letters containing terminology such as responsibility and apology to the victims to help restore their honor. North Korea appears to have advanced its ability to produce nuclear weapons even further. Government sources say it might take less plutonium for Pyongyang to make a nuclear weapon than normally required. For the latest on the regime's growing nuclear ambition, we turn to Connie Kim.
Has North Korea improved its ability to produce nuclear weapons? That seems to be the case as multiple government sources said Friday the nuclear state has reached a level where it could produce one nuclear weapon with less than 6 kilograms of plutonium. This is unusual as it normally requires some 6 kilograms of plutonium to produce one nuclear weapon. A source speaking on condition of anonymity said the assessment comes as Pyongyang is suspected to have manufactured multiple nuclear weapons. Seoul's defense ministry estimates North Korea possesses a total of some 40 kilograms of plutonium. This means North Korea has developed the capability to produce more than 8 nuclear weapons. While Seoul says it's unclear on how many weapons Pyongyang possesses, the U.S. Heritage Foundation estimates the regime has 8 nuclear weapons in its arsenal. Even more concerning, the U.S. Institute for Science and International Security said the North possesses the necessary materials to potentially manufacture up to 22 nuclear weapons. Despite international calls for North Korea to denuclearize, the regime continues to forge ahead with its nuclear development. Taking into consideration North Korea's unpredictable nature and its young leader, the U.S. Center for Preventive Action listed the nuclear state as one of the biggest security threats for 2016. North Korea this year test-fired its submarine-launched ballistic missiles twice. Officials also believe that North Korea's capacity to miniaturize nuclear warheads has reached a considerable level. Connie Kim, Arirang News.
Let's focus on South Korea's political arena for now. Korea's two main rival parties look to have narrowed their differences on 9 disputed bills. They will convene for talks on Saturday with party leaders and standing committees in attendance. Bills to reform Korea's labor market, promote the service industry, and revitalize the economy will be discussed, with the Saenuri Party's amendments and the opposition New Politics Alliance for Democracy offering alternatives Government ministries are working to find a compromise. A high-ranking official from the ruling party said the parties have put aside much of their differences regarding anti-terrorism and North Korea's human rights situation. If the two sides can reach an agreement on the 9 bills, they will be put to a vote during the plenary session on the final day of this year. Following the recent murder of a Korean man in the Philippines, a special team of investigators from Seoul was dispatched abroad to work with the local police there for the first time ever. After 3 days of investigations, the task force has uncovered some key evidence. Oh Se-young tells us more.
A team of investigators from Korea returned home from the Philippines this morning after a number of potential key findings in the murder case of a Korean national. The 57-year-old businessman surnamed Cho was shot multiple times by 4 unidentified gunmen at his temporary residence in Batangas on December 20th. Observing the surveillance camera footage, the Korean officials were able to identify the suspect's vehicle, a white SUV passing through a toll gate on a nearby motorway. And at the murder scene, they also discovered the loaded cartridge and 2 empty ones, overlooked by the local police. Moreover, after intensive questioning of Cho's relatives and witnesses, the task force believes it might have been a contract killing issued by a business associate or his Filipino wife, who he was in the process of divorcing. The relevant footage and evidence has been handed over to local authorities.
So whatever information that you give us now that can help the investigations, we promise that we will make use of this. We will try to develop more.
The 3-man team, made up of 2 crime investigators and 1 forensic specialist, marks the first time that Korea has dispatched a special investigation force overseas. With a string of attacks on Korean nationals in the Philippines, Cho's death would make the 11th killing this year. Earlier this month, Korea's police agency announced the enlisting of 63 specialists in the fields of forensics, crime and safety to conduct investigations in the Southeast Asian country for cases involving Koreans. Oh Se-young, Arirang News.
Moving on to other stories, with the year coming to an end, it's high time we look back at some of the new technologies that broke into the market and made headlines. Most of them, of course, are gadgets that added a little more convenience to our lives. Shin Se-min lists them down for us.
Formerly known as a low-end iPhone copycat, China's Xiaomi is now better known for its range of tablets, wearables, and smart home products, as well as a new self-balancing electric scooter launched with Segway. It's topping holiday wish list at just $315 US. Be it curvy, lean, or widescreen, a number of smartphones leapt onto the market this year, including a couple from a pair of old rivals. Samsung Electronics had its Galaxy S6 Edge with a curved screen that wraps around the sides of the handset. Apple rolled out an upgrade to the iPhone 6, the 6S and 6S Plus, featuring the sharpest display and the biggest 5.5-inch screen yet. Korea's mobile messaging service, KakaoTalk, grew into a behemoth this year after its merger with Daum Communications, Korea's second-largest portal. The merger set the new company called Daum Kakao, but soon it lopped Daum off its corporate name. Kakao went on to become an all-in-one social networking service, launching multiple services for shopping, media, and payments, in addition to a popular Uber-like taxi service. Fintech got a bit savvier and a bit more popular this year. Mobile payment apps by Apple and Samsung let users pay for items on the go with just a tap, then the payment is done. And with Korea handing out licenses for the country's first internet-only banks in October, financial services will be offered online without brick-and-mortar locations for the first time. Drones came a little further into our daily lives. Some were for work, with online retail giant Amazon unveiling a new hybrid delivery drone that acts like a helicopter. While others were for play, like these new virtual reality handsets, some of which allow users to control and capture the VR imagery. Shin Se-min, Arirang News.
Due to relatively mild temperatures in Korea as of late, the nation's winter tourism industry is experiencing a bit of a chill. But the government and other organizations are working to fire things back up. Park Se-young shares with us some of these countermeasures.
Like many people from colder climates, a good number of Koreans also want to go somewhere warm over the winter break. But their Southeast Asian neighbors probably have a different idea of winter fun.
That it's hot all year round in Singapore, but then in here you get to experience different weathers, you get to experience different climates, and I really like it here. So I've tried before snowboarding and skiing, and it's really fun.
For many people from warmer neighboring countries, winter in Korea has been an attraction. But with temperatures rising around the globe, including Korea, the country's winter tourism industry is experiencing a freeze that could be difficult to crack. The warming trend has put a damper on the enthusiasm for winter festivals, and the number of visitors to ski resorts slid by over 20% last season compared to 5 seasons ago. The number of foreign tourists visiting in winter has declined as well. To try and reverse the trend, the Korean government and private organizations are stepping up efforts to revive the nation's winter tourism industry. They're offering discounts for ski vacations with the hope they can keep the snow on the ground, entertainment packages, and a variety of other activities.
Many visitors to Korea tend to like K-pop, so we've prepared various events for them this year.
Experts say the winter tourism campaign is likely to continue in the coming years, as it will be difficult for the tourism industry to regain its momentum if temperatures continue to rise. Park Se-young, Arirang News.
And that brings us to the end of our newscast. As always, thank you for watching.